Hi, I'm PM Rants.
Aaron64.
We both have a gaming channel called Goatface Gaming, and, well, we're talking about E3, so fuck it, here's the intro.
Also, as a lot of you may know and some of you may not know, I have my own channel as well. It's pretty relevant as well, so go over and subscribe. It helps us both out.
So, E3 2014, it's come and gone, so we thought we'd give our little 2 cents about it.
Absolutely. We love games, so it makes sense to me.
And clearly, by the shirts we're wearing, you can clearly tell what we're most excited about.
Absolutely. I've always been Zelda's probably my personal favorite franchise. I don't know about you, but it's my personal favorite.
It's definitely among the top echelon.
So I say, let's talk about that first. We got a new Zelda game for the Wii coming out, or the Wii U. And we don't have a whole lot of information yet, but what we've seen so far, it looks pretty epic.
It looks like they're trying to Skyrimize it by just making it more open-ended. Obviously, it's not going to be as sweeping and expansive as Skyrim. There's still going to be 6 to 8 dungeons with a boss and a heart piece at the end.
My personal favorite aspect of it is it's a little brighter than, of course, you'd expect from Skyrim, but yeah, it lets you complete things kind of at your own pace and in the order you want, like you would in Skyrim. So, Skyrim's a really good comparison here.
Yeah, they're essentially aiming for the goal set of Link Between Worlds, which was a great game, by the way.
Absolutely.
But just on a massive scale.
Yes, A Link Between Worlds was fantastic. It's probably my favorite top-down Zelda game. And the map was really small, but the concept they're bringing over to the Wii U Zelda is just on a much larger scale.
And judging by the trailer, Link didn't have his sword or his trademark tunic, so maybe there's some customizability involved there?
Well, they haven't let us know, but it's a possibility, and if that's there, you combine that with the ability to travel the world as Link, fucking blows my mind. It's gonna be amazing.
There's the Zelda spin-off, which can tide us over until the actual game comes out, Hyrule Warriors. I'm not as optimistic about it as the actual Zelda game, but I think I'm going to give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot, but I'm not going into it with a whole lot of expectations. I just like the main franchise games of Zelda.
Well, the ability to maul hundreds of monsters at once with sword and massive powerful attacks, that's always been a good thing for me, a good trope for me in gaming.
It is, but it is a trope. The reason why I like the franchise games better is because there's character in them. There's a story, there's character, and you get Link there. But, I don't know, that's just my take.
And then there's Nintendo's other big mascot. There's Mario. He actually took a step back and laid off the back burner for a while. I'm not even sure if I said that correctly.
I don't know. They introduced the idea of this Mario Maker. And personally, I'm just kind of indifferent about it. It just seems like a legitimate ROM hack. People are probably kind of already doing the same thing anyway. So, me personally, Mario Maker, I could either give or take it.
I'll give it a shot. I may not make any levels myself, but it's a good outlet to see how creative people can be, especially the fans of the community, and just basically
kind of a Little Big Planet type situation.
Yeah. Speaking of Little Big Planet, they announced Little Big Planet 3.
I have never played one of those games in my life yet.
Yeah, me too. Everyone's it's basically the same thing. The whole selling point of Little Big Planet was its creativity, and I didn't have a lot of time to invest in creating the levels, but it's there are millions of levels out there with a lot of creative people out there, so
I'm sure there is, but I'll probably eventually try to brush up on it, but as for now, indifferent.
As for Little Big Planet 3, I don't know. I may get it along down the road, but David.
Basically.
And then there's the Amiibo figures.
Don't give a shit.
They exist. I'm not investing any money into it. There was some news that I was hoping for that we finally got, but just like a sliver of information. We're finally getting a new Star Fox, motherfucker!
Yay! As Aaron64, obviously I'm hyped. I've always been a huge Star Fox fan. Just the fact they at least teased it, I'm happy. At least I know it's gonna be a thing. We don't have a whole lot of information, but Star Fox is always gonna be great.
They're basically telling us it exists. We're working on it.
And I say, yay.
Yoshi's Woolly World. It's kind of like a combination of that game Yoshi's Story with Kirby's Epic Yarn.
I played Yoshi's Story, enjoyed it, did not play Kirby's Epic Yarn.
I played Kirby's Epic Yarn. I enjoyed it as well, so... But that might not be... but that's not going to be a day one purchase for me.
Nope. As for me, kind of indifferent. I will play the Kirby game, see if I like it, then make my decision.
Are you talking about the new Kirby game that was just announced?
I was talking about the Yarn one, so I know about Yarn games, but...
Well, there was a new Kirby game that was announced, like Kirby and the Rainbow Curse.
Oh yeah.
And they
can't go wrong with Kirby.
Yeah, but the way they are doing this one is like Kirby's this little ball, and you have to use the gamepad to guide him through the levels, like drawing trails for him.
Well, they're finally utilizing the gamepad. We'll see. I haven't liked the use of the gamepad a whole lot so far with games, but maybe they'll actually do it kind of intuitively now. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. But possibly the most unexpected game that was announced was Captain Toad.
Yeah, I mean, I would never expect Toad, of all people, to get his own game. I mean, it took Luigi a pretty long time to get his own game, and he's a much bigger character than Toad, but it's, you know, they took the mini game from Mario's 3D World and made it its own game.
It's building on the foundation that was already established, and I don't know, I think it works on its own right.
It could work. The concept is fun, but I feel personally it's going to be hard to make an entire game of that. It worked good as a mini game, but a whole game of it, I can't knock it before I try it, but so far, I'm just kind of a wait and see kind of thing.
It could be a digital release, maybe released for like $15, $20.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll probably be a short game as well, so.
Mm-hmm. Close to the end of the show, Nintendo was teasing a completely new 3DS game.
Yep.
Personally, I was hoping it was a new Metroid.
I had my fingers crossed for a remake of Majora's Mask, and we were both wrong.
Yep, it's a new project called Codename Steam, which is a turn-based strategy RPG with elements of a third-person shooter. It's from the same studio that made Advance Wars and Fire Emblem, so that makes me hyped for it.
Those are two notable references as games, anyways. So the people who made them are obviously great too. So it could be a really good thing. I'm pretty excited for that as well.
I'm definitely interested in that. And then there's like actual third-party stuff. There's, well, not a lot, but Bayonetta 2, still a Wii U exclusive, still excited for it. He doesn't like it. Fuck him.
Sorry.
It's okay. At least they actually announced the release date for it, well, October, and like it's coming packed with the first game. So I don't know, maybe I can pawn off my Xbox 360 version or not.
Yes, or burn it.
No, money's good.
Or burn it.
Money's good.
Okay.
Money!
Okay.
And then Nintendo announced a game that I've been really excited for, Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's the follow-up to Xenoblade Chronicles. It's one of my favorite games the past year, even though I've played only like 3 games. That was one of them, and it was excellent.
I did watch you play Xenoblade, and it looks like you had fun. But I didn't play it yet.
It's basically taking the core elements of Xenoblade. I haven't played any of the other games in the series, or the Xeno series, or whatever it's called. And then you put giant robots in it, so I'm sold. Giant robots kick ass.
Lose with giant robots. Except if you watch Pacific Rim, and that's a lose.
Giant robots and fighting dinosaurs. Can't go wrong with that.
Oh.
Also, Nintendo announced Splatoon, which is a completely new IP. It's a third-person shooter, 4 versus 4 versus.
And I do like my third-person shooters. I much prefer them over first-person.
Yeah, it's got a unique take on it. Like, the more you cover the map with your own ink, the faster you can travel, and it's more accessible and can get pretty fucking chaotic. We wish we were there, but we're poor. We couldn't go there.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a capture the flag warpy type of thingy.
Yeah, domination or dominate. Yeah, domination.
Yeah,
I think it's more domination than capture the flag.
With colors.
Yeah, colors.
Yeah, colors. I like
Indeed,
color.
we definitely need real talk. We definitely need more color in video games.
Totes.
Yeah. Now let's step away from Nintendo. Nintendo was the one we were most excited for, but there were other games, especially from the other parties, that that were interesting. The new Batman, the one that I'm sure that you're most excited for, the new Mortal Kombat.
They've teased us, and they've teased me. From what I've seen so far, I don't know if we've seen any gameplay footage yet.
They have shown gameplay footage.
I saw the teaser trailer.
Well, you need to get on that shit.
Oh, fuck.
And they've announced actually a surprising amount of new characters. Like, according to the timeline, it's supposed to take place like 20 years after the last Mortal Kombat. And like a new character is Cassie Cage, which is actually the offspring of Sonya and Johnny Cage.
Oh shit!
And
Generations.
And there is dick punching. They confirmed dick punching.
Generations and dick punching, my two favorite things.
And then there's the new Assassin's Creed game, which I think they're actually taking. And there's no more pirates or naval battles. It's just straight up assassins again.
Good. Fuck naval battles.
And it's set in France, so that's actually a very good location, right for interesting stuff and political intrigue and stuff like that. And there's 4-player co-op, which means instead of like AI assassins helping you, you got other people.
That's awesome. I'm just gonna say, to improve Assassin's Creed, let's not make it so repetitive, please. They're all great games, but they get a little stale too quickly.
Right. And then there's the new Batman, Arkham Knight, which is done by the same people who did the first 2 games, which were excellent.
Good, they were. And even the other one, Origins, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't anything different or groundbreaking. But it was fun to play for what it was, but I do understand that it was somebody else who made that.
Well, I haven't played Origins, but...
yeah, you could totally miss it, and you will be totally fine.
Yeah, but Batman's looking even more badass than ever. He's got like a metal suit, and like even though like you could glide all around Gotham City, but even then the Batmobile is still a necessity because you gotta use its weapons to take out drones and stuff.
Oh, we get a Batmobile.
Yeah, and
so excited.
I'm actually really excited. I'm not like a huge comic book or superhero nerd aficionado.
Me neither.
But I do like the Arkham games, and this looks like it's going to be quite the swan song from Rocksteady. I'm not sure if you heard, but they announced a new Tomb Raider game.
I did not hear.
It's called Rise of the Tomb Raider. We didn't get any gameplay elements, but the trailer showed like Lara in like
naked.
We wish, but with a psychiatrist, and then
shit.
And then it cuts to her like actually raiding tombs, and it's got that same gritty feeling, and then we got that same gritty feeling. She slits a guy's throat with a pickaxe.
Awesome, that's my favorite thing. It's how I like to kill my people.
The Tomb Raider reboot was great, but
that was amazing.
I'm excited to see where they're gonna go with this. Maybe like multiple locations, other than that, just one island.
Basically, I felt like that first reboot, the new Lara Croft and all that, it was kind of like, hey guys, this isn't a huge game, but would you like some more of this? And we was all like, yeah.
And then there's a game that really sparked my interest. I'm not sure if you've heard about it or not. Sunset Overdrive.
This is literally the first I'm hearing of it.
It's from the same people who made the Ratchet and Clank games. It's an Xbox One exclusive.
Cool.
And it's got that same loony, cartoony, but still ultra violent feel to it. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. It's like total mayhem and destruction, just like cool weapons and parkour and all that stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's like it's like one of the very few games that they accentuated is like you can only get this experience for just this system. Because like a lot of the games that to me that really sparked my interest, they were really good and they looked really promising. But it wouldn't matter which way you went with either system, the Xbox One or the PS4.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the biggest downfall for both Microsoft and Sony's press conferences is that they didn't really accentuate exclusivity. They talked about like, oh, you can get this before this, or you can get like specific content exclusive to this, but they didn't really talk. They didn't really have any major. They didn't drop any major bombs.
Yeah.
Like Sony, they had Little Big Planet, kind of that Uncharted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like The Last of Us remastered, but to me, like at the end of the year, when all the Game of the Year nominees come out, they're still mostly going to be cross-platform games.
Yeah, I mean that's just
like and no next-gen exclusive games. There was one more game. I think it's in the indie department that really struck my fancy.
Wait,
I'm not sure if I'm saying the.
You have a fancy?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm saying the title right, but it was called Ura and the Blind Forest. It was like it's built from the same engine, I think, from Rayman Legends, or at least it looks like the Rayman Origins and Legends. It's a side-scrolling platformer, but it looks so pretty, and like when I saw the trailer, I actually caught the feels.
You caught the feels?
Yeah.
You have feels too? You have feels and a fancy?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been getting all sorts of information today I didn't have before.
Yeah, but you're this little white sprite that goes around and like stays away from predators and I don't know. I only saw it once, but it really struck a chord with me, and I want to see more of it.
I mean, I haven't seen anything on it, but if you caught the feels, it's gonna be good. So
like I'm gonna as soon as this is over, I'm gonna drag Aaron to the laptop and show him the trailer.
okay, but you don't have to drag me. I'll just walk.
Well, I'm gonna drag you anyway. I know you like it. And we saved the best for last.
If you thought what you've heard from Nintendo was already epic, then this is just like, I don't even know.
Motherfucking Smash Bros, man.
We get one per generation, one per console. And,
we're actually getting two.
Yeah, we have two big consoles going on now. We are finally fucking getting a handheld one.
It's interesting to see how that's gonna work with the different button layouts, because we're so used to the GameCube layout.
Yep.
And now we're pretty much forced to deal with another controller layout.
I don't want to get too excited yet for the 3DS version, simply because it's the first of its kind. It's the first Smash Bros. That you play handheld. It's gonna have to look different because it's on a smaller screen, controlled different. But I'm glad that they're taking a stab at it.
From what I heard from Jay Witz and Pro Jared, I heard it controls pretty well. It handles itself pretty well.
They know what they're talking about, so.
And now, the new fucking characters.
Yeah. We get Pac-Man, which that blew my mind a little bit. That was pretty awesome.
It had to happen.
Had to.
Namco's working on this game. Namco, Pac-Man, the most iconic video game character ever, probably bigger than Mario.
Bigger than Mario.
My dad doesn't know who Mario is, but he probably knows who Pac-Man is.
And that's saying something. I know I've spent plenty of time in arcades playing Pac-Man, and even to this day, as old as it is, and as simple as the concept is, that's just a hugely iconic character.
Mm-hmm. And I know you don't like this, but I'm kind of interested to play as the Miis, especially as the different classes.
I can't really get into that concept. I play Smash Bros. For my characters that I know. I play Smash Bros. For the icons and their own characters. The whole Mii thing, I'm okay with it being there, but I probably won't utilize it a lot.
I like fighting games where you can insert yourself into the fight. That's just that's one of my favorite aspects of it, like your own custom characters.
I guess for me, it's just I've always known Smash Bros. Is a way to, control my favorite characters from games and make them beat the shit out of each other. I don't know. I mean, I want to try it. Maybe I'll like it more than I think I will.
Yeah, and then there's the character that I'm really excited to play as, Palutena from Kid Icarus.
Never played a Kid Icarus game.
What about the Uprising?
Oh yeah, I have played a Kid Icarus game.
Well, there's only 3 of them, so...
Okay, I've played that one, and I'm just not extremely attached to that franchise. Obviously, because I completely forgot that I played the fucking game. But I'm okay with it being there.
Well, in all seriousness, from what I've seen in the gameplay perspective, Palutena looks like she can wreck some shit.
Hopefully more shit than our other princesses, goddess, female type characters.
Why be a princess when you can be a fucking goddess? That's
fucking
what I'm asking. While we're on the subject of new characters, what are some characters that you're still hoping for?
Captain Falcon?
Yeah, they still haven't announced Captain Falcon returning yet.
What the fuck? How they're gonna introduce Yoshi's return, but not Captain Falcon's?
Here's my hypothesis. They're announcing each of the returning characters when they're finished programming them into the game.
I don't understand this. This possibility, yes, absolutely. I'm just like, if they for some reason decide to axe him out of the game, I'm still gonna totally play the shit out of it. But there will always be the elephant in the room.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll put Captain Falcon in the game. He's one of the most popular fighters in the franchise.
Yes, get the Falcon Punch. I mean, come on.
He's one of the most unique fighters in the game.
Absolutely. I like his saving move, the one where you can flip and attach them, blow the shit out of them. That's my thing.
If anyone's going to be cut, it's probably going to be Ganondorf.
At least I won't miss Ganondorf.
If they bring Ganondorf back, they got to give him a new moveset.
Yeah, and plus he's just slow. I wasn't very good with Ganondorf.
Yeah, but he packed a punch. Let's see.
I'm pretty hyped they brought Sonic back. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I wish they'd bring Mewtwo back. I don't know how a lot of you feel about that, but I miss Mewtwo.
I think we've already got enough Pokemon. There's 4 of them, and they're pretty diverse. Well, there's 2 that focus on speed and 2 that focus on power. But if they're probably just gonna bring the wild card Jigglypuff back, and that'll be it.
I never used Jigglypuff, but I am glad we got a Charizard. That's interesting.
And oh, they still haven't announced Ness yet.
To be honest, I never cared for Ness in the Smash Bros. Game.
Yeah, but like Captain Falcon, Ness has been there from the beginning.
True.
So
and strictly for that purpose, I say bring it back.
There's still gonna be a hole there. One character that I'm hoping for, and simply because it makes sense, because they're already working with Sega and Capcom, I think they should put Bayonetta in there. Because Bayonetta 2 is a Wii U exclusive, it's a good way to promote the game.
Yes, but they would really have to probably change her outfit a little bit.
They'd have to tone her down. Well, I don't know. They gave Zero Suit Samus a sexier, more voluptuous form.
Yeah,
so
they did.
Maybe they can get away with that. Another thing that makes sense. Someone from Street Fighter, mainly Ryu or Ken. Like they have the.
My vote's for Ryu.
It's pretty much got to be Ryu.
Yeah.
And because it makes sense. Like they have the movesets that would totally fit into Smash Brothers.
Absolutely. I mean, they could still have some bombs up their sleeves. I mean, they're really nailing this whole thing. So, and this was definitely their E3 essentially. I mean, they swept it. So there could be some more bombs on the way.
Nintendo, even beforehand with Smash Brothers and the new Zelda looming, Nintendo was pretty much guaranteed second place at least, but they really stepped up their game. I think.
Yeah.
Goatface Gaming is calling it. Nintendo wins E3.
Yep.
Well, thank you for watching 2 grown men talk about video games for an unspecified amount of time. But what can we say? This is something we love.
Absolutely. I enjoy talking about it, and I hope you enjoy hearing us talk about it.
Well, once again, I'm PM Rant.
And I am R-Wing Aaron 64.
Thank you for watching us, and we've got our own shit coming out really soon. And I actually promise this time.
Totally. Head over to my channel as well.
And remember, boys and girls, all proceeds from this video's ad revenue will go towards the Goatface Gaming Next Gen Gaming Fund. Thank you for watching, everyone.
And we don't have a whole lot of information yet, but you know what we've seen so far, it looks pretty epic.
It looks like they're trying to Skyrimize it by just making it more open-ended. Obviously, it's not going to be as sweeping and expansive as Skyrim. There's still going to be 6 to 8 dungeons with a boss and a heart piece at the end.
My personal favorite aspect of it is it's a little brighter than, of course, you'd expect from Skyrim, but yeah, it lets you complete things kind of at your own pace and in the order you want, like you would in Skyrim. So I mean, Skyrim's a really good comparison here.
Yeah, they're essentially aiming for the goal set of Link Between Worlds, which was a great game, by the way.
Absolutely.
But just on a massive scale.
Yes, A Link Between Worlds was fantastic. It's probably my favorite top-down Zelda game. And the map was really small, but the concept they're bringing over to the Wii U.
Yeah, me too. Everyone's it's basically the same thing. The whole selling point of Little Big Planet was its creativity, and I didn't have a lot of time to invest in creating the levels, but it's like there are millions of levels out there with a lot of creative people out there, so...
I'm sure there is, but I'll probably eventually try to brush up on it, but as for now, indifferent.
As for Little Big Planet 3, I don't know. I may get it along down the road, but... David.
Basically,
And then there's the amiibo figures.
don't give a shit.
They exist. I'm not investing any money into it. There was some news that I was hoping for that we finally got, but just like a sliver of information. We're finally getting a new Star Fox, motherfucker!
Yay! As an R-Wing Aaron 64, obviously I'm hyped. I've always been a huge Star Fox fan. Just the fact they at least better because there's character in them. You know, there's a story, there's character, and you get Link there. But I don't know. That's just my take.
And then there's Nintendo's other big mascot. There's Mario. He actually took a step back and laid off the back burner for a while. I'm not even sure if I said that correctly.
I don't know. They introduced the idea of this Mario Maker. And personally, I'm just kind of indifferent about it. I mean, it just seems like a legitimate ROM hack. I mean, people are probably kind of already doing the same thing anyway. So, me personally, Mario Maker, I could either give or take it.
I'll give it a shot. I may not make any levels myself, but it's a good outlet to see how creative people can be, especially the fans of the community, and basically
kind of a Little Big Planet type situation.
Yeah. Speaking of Little Big Planet, they announced Little Big Planet 3.
I have never played one of those games in my life yet. Zelda. It's just on a much larger scale.
And judging by the trailer, Link didn't have his sword or his trademark tunic, so maybe there's some customizability involved there?
Well, they haven't let us know, but it's a possibility, and if that's there, you combine that with the ability to travel the world as Link, fucking blows my mind. It's gonna be amazing.
There's the Zelda spin-off, which can tide us over until the actual game comes out, Hyrule Warriors. I'm not as optimistic about it as the actual Zelda game, but I think I'm gonna give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot, but I'm not going into it with a whole lot of expectations. I just like the main franchise games of Zelda.
Well, the ability to maul hundreds of monsters at once with sword and massive, powerful attacks, that's always been a good thing for me, a good trope for me in gaming.
It is, but it is a trope. The reason why I like the franchise games.
Hi, I'm PM Rants.
R-Wing Aaron 64.
We both have a gaming channel called Goatface Gaming, and, we're talking about E3, so fuck it, here's the intro.
Also, as a lot of you may know and some of you may not know, I have my own channel as well. It's pretty relevant as well, so go over and subscribe. It helps us both out.
So, E3 2014, it's come and gone, so we thought we'd give our little 2 cents about it.
Absolutely. We love games, so it makes sense to me.
And clearly, by the shirts we're wearing, you can clearly tell what we're most excited about.
Absolutely. I've always been Zelda's probably my personal favorite franchise. I don't know about you, but it's my personal favorite.
It's definitely among the top echelon.
So let's talk about that first. We got a new Zelda game for the Wii coming out, or the Wii